This is Lesson 25, Session 3, Converting Smaller Units to Larger Units. To start today, use fraction tiles or fraction circles to model the equations. Then write the quotients. So pause your video, and after you have your solutions written down, press play again and we'll work on them together. The first one is 1 divided by 2. So I'm going to use the fraction circles. There's one fraction circle, and I'm going to divide it into 2 parts, and then shade one of those parts. And the part that I've shaded is 1/2. 1 divided by 2 equals 1/2. The next one is 1 divided by 4. Here's my one fraction circle. I'm going to divide that fraction circle into 4 parts and shade one of those parts. So 1 divided by 4 equals 1/4. 3 divided by 2, I have my 3 fraction circles, and I'm going to divide them each into 2 parts. And I'm going to shade 1 on each of those circles. And then count the shaded parts. I have 1, 2, 3 halves. And 3 halves is the same as 1 and 1/2. Then finally we have 5 divided by 4. So if I have my 5 fraction circles and I divide them each into 4 parts, just like so. Then I'm going to shade 1 part on each of my circles. If I count how many parts I have shaded, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the fourths shaded. So 5 divided by 4 is 5/4, which is the same as 1 and 1/4. Now another way that we can do this is we can think of division with a fraction bar. So if I write 1 divided by 2 using a fraction bar, it looks like this, 1 divided by 2. So 1 divided by 2 is 1/2. 1 divided by 4, I can write like this, 1 divided by 4. So 1 divided by 4 is 1/4. 3 divided by 2, I can write like this, 3 divided by 2, which is 3 halves, which is the same as 1 and 1/2, because 2 halves is 1, and then there's one more half left over. And then 5 divided by 4, I can write like this, 5 divided by 4, which is 5/4. 4/4 is 1, and then we have one more fourth left over to make 1 and 1/4. Okay, this is the try it. Make sense of the problem at the top of page 519. How many quarts are equivalent to 6 cups? So we are changing 6 cups into quarts, and 1 quart equals 4 cups. So I'm going to rewrite my problem like this. I have 6 cups equals some number of quarts. Okay, so if 4 cups equals 1 quart, I can take 6 divided by 4 to equal the number of quarts. Now I'm going to use the strategy that I used on the previous slide where I write this as a fraction. I can write 6 divided by 4 like this and get 6/4. And I know that 4/4 equals 1. And then I have 2/4 left over, and 2/4 I know is the same as 1/2. So 6 cups is equal to 1 and 1/2 quarts. And if I look at it this way, I can draw a diagram. So there is a quart, and there are 4 cups in each quart. So I'm going to label these C, 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 C. My quart is divided into 4 cups, but I have 6 cups, so I'm going to draw 2 more cups over here. And I can see that is 1/2 of a quart. So there's my 1 quart, and there's my 1/2. Okay, model it. This is on page 520. The table below shows the relationship between between cups and quarts. In 1 quart, there's 4 cups, 2 quarts, there's 8 cups, and so on. So if I divide, 4 divided by 4 is 1, 8 divided by 4 is 2, 12 divided by 4 is 3. If I'm going from the smaller unit to the larger unit, I would divide. If I go from the larger unit to the smaller unit, that's where I would multiply. 1 times 4 is 4, 2 times 4 is 8. The pattern in the table shows that there are 4 cups in every quart. To find the number of quarts equivalent to 6 cups, divide by 4. So 6 divided by 4, we saw was 6/4, which is the same as 1 1/2. Okay, look at connected on page 521. Number 1, which is a smaller unit, quarts or cups? The smaller unit is cups. And how do we know cups are smaller? Cups are smaller because it takes 4 cups to make 1 quart. Number 2, what operation do you use to convert from a smaller measurement unit to a larger measurement unit? So when we went from cups to quarts, we used division. Six cups equals how many quarts? We found out that 6 cups equals 1 1/2 quarts. Write your answer on the table on the previous page and explain your reasoning. What we did is we divided 6 by 4 to get the number of cups in 1 quart. Number 4, use what you learned about the relationship between cups and quarts to complete the table below. So if I have 2 cups, I take 2 divided by 4, because there's 4 cups in a quart. 2 divided by 4, I can write like this. And I get 2/4, which is the same as 1/2. Okay, 5 divided by 4. So 5 cups would be 5 divided by 4, which is the same as 1 1/4 quarts. 9 cups, if we divide 9 by 4, we can write it like this and get 9/4, and that is the same as 2 2/4, which is, 2 1/4. Okay, and then 15 divided by 4 we can write as the fraction 15/4. And 4 goes into 15 3 times, which was 12, and then I have 3 left over, 3 3/4. Okay, number 5, 1 gallon is equivalent to 8 pints. Describe how to convert from pints to gallons. Explain your reasoning. So if there are 8 pints in 1 gallon, and we're going from the smaller unit to the larger unit, then we're going to divide. So in order to convert from pints, which is the smaller one, to gallons, which is the larger one, what we would do is divide by 8. Okay, number 6 at the bottom of page 521. Look back at your try it, strategies by classmates, and model it and solve it. Which models or strategies do you like best for converting smaller units to larger units? And explain. So the 2 methods that I showed you today are using the fraction circles, and I also showed you how to write the division problem as a fraction and then reduce or simplify your fraction. On number 7, page 522, how many kilometers is equal to 800 meters? Show your work. So here we have a chart that I've made for this problem. Here's our base here. 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. So if we're going from meters to kilometers, we're going to divide by 1,000. So here we have 500 meters, which we know is half a kilometer. If we divide by 1,000, we move our decimal point 3 places to the right because we're making it smaller. And there we have our 5/10. Same as over here, we have 1.5 kilometers is 1,500 meters. If I have 1,500 meters and I want to convert to kilometers, I move 3 places to the left, and there I have my 1.5. 2,000 meters, I divide by 1,000, move 3 places to the left, and there I have my 2 kilometers. So let's look at our 800 meters. This is the one that we need to figure out. So 800 meters, to convert to kilometers, I would divide by 1,000, which is moving my decimal 3 places to the left. And we see that 800 meters is the same as 8/10 kilometer. Number 8, how many yards are equal to 25 feet? Show your work. So we're starting with 25 feet and we're converting it to yards. The feet are the smaller units, so we're going to use division. So we have 25 feet divided by something equals our number of yards. Now, what we need to know here is how many feet are in a yard. There are 3 feet in a yard. So we have 25 divided by 3 is going to be our number of yards. So if I write this as a fraction, 25 divided by 3, I know that 3 goes into 25 8 times, because 3 times 8 is 24, and then I have 1 left over, and so I have 1/3 left over. So 25 feet is equal to 8 1/3 yards. Number 9, which of the following measures is equivalent to 3,300 grams? So kilograms, I know kilo means 1,000. Grams is the smaller unit, and kilograms is the larger unit. There are 1,000 grams in a kilogram. So to convert from the smaller unit grams to the larger unit kilograms, we're going to divide this by 1,000. So I have 3300, and I'm going to move my decimal point 3 places to the left because we're dividing and making this number smaller. So there I have 3.3, which is letter C. Okay, your assignment today for lesson 25, session 3 is the green pages, pages 523 and 524. If you're able to, please take a picture and email me those pages so I can grade them. And if that doesn't work out for you, you can type in your answers into an email and send it to me that way. I'll see you later for the next lesson.